Hi, I had the pleasure of speaking to Pascal Fintoni earlier today. The questions were all around video marketing and some of the best apps that you can use to create videos. And he split it into three things. He split it into customer service videos, uh, videos to increase sales, and videos to increase conversions. Unfortunately, I missed the first minute or so of Pascal's of the recording. It was just whilst he was answering a question to someone in the audience and just setting it up. But if you just bear with it, I think you'll find that the whole thing starts making sense within a couple of minutes of watching. So enjoy. And if you're looking for video tips and the best video apps, then this is the vlog to watch. Take care.
Self-centered and kind to yourself, and spend as little time as possible to produce the end results. Because for particularly the times that we live in, Jamie, everything's consumed so fast that really spending 10, 20, 30 hours in a video that someone's going to watch for 30 seconds and move on with their day, the equation just doesn't work there. There are some exceptions, which I'll come on to. And then the third rule is try and work as part of a production team. So don't do this on your own. There is much to be enjoyed in the pursuit of content creation by working with others. So what I mean by that is I know that we've all been empowered because the phones, actually, I don't know where mine is today, the phone and the keyboard give us the impression that this is for me to undertake on my own. But if you go back to the early days when I was a video producer, then my attempt at filmmaking, I was working as part of a team. I had to take care of people and feed them as well. Would you believe? So try to see as part of the Yorkshire Business Club and indeed the Elevenses. Oh, by the way, in terms of Elevenses, I've had my two breakfasts already, Johnny. I'm having Elevenses, and I'm going to have obviously my first lunch in the next hour. So try and find a way for this to be part of a collaboration. And I can see Jamie nodding away, so I'm sure that resonates because when you do things on your own, you rob yourself from actually a lot more enjoyment in the process of content creation. And I get it, because the keyboards and the mobile phones and so on gives the impression that you can be a superhero, but you've got to start, somewhere. So these are the three rules. But I'll give you a moment maybe to react to that, to ask me more questions.
Yeah, well, what I wanted to get into, because one of the things that you talked about is how to give better customer service. So, what are the types of videos that you could do to achieve something like that?
Yeah, so that's something that I shared with you obviously a while back. So if you want to think about using video to build your business, you've got to look at three key elements. So using video for better customer service is the best way to start. Why? Because this is actually you creating content for people that you know already. You can imagine, from the customers you have in mind, you can imagine your associates, your suppliers, and so on. So creating content for people that you know already and visioning them smiling as they watch the content is very, very helpful. The next stage we're going to talk on is then using it to market yourself for lead generation. And then we'll talk about next stage, sales, lead conversion. So with customer service, I think there's three things that you should essentially look to produce. And they are there to simply mirror what you would do face to face, what you would do if you met somebody. No, it's been a while since we could do that. So the first video that you should consider doing is what I call the show and tell video. So have you, and I'm talking to our friends here today, have you ever been in a situation where someone asks you a question and you want to be helpful, so therefore you explain something or you demonstrate something, and then they leave and you kind of go, do you know what? That was bloody good. I mean, I was on fire. If only I've recorded this because then others could benefit from that moment. So what we do with video, we try and capture moments to make them memories. That's something you can have for free, Johnny. So the show and tell video is when you get in touch with me, Johnny, and you said, Pascal, I'm stuck with this. How do you do that again? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to record maybe my screen. If I want to do a demonstration, I'm going to record me holding an object and doing. So we're going to record it for you, but actually it's also to be sent to others who could not be there at the same time. The show and tell video is an important one. And again, it's just reproducing what you do face to face. The other thing that you can do is what I call the remind and refresh video. And you're doing it already, all of you, is when you share on social media a reminder about maybe a content, maybe a blog article, a reminder about an event, and so on and so forth. So case in point, many of you may have seen about 10 o'clock, 10:30 today, you went live on LinkedIn, I think, and you did a reminder. which, by the way, scared the bejesus from me because I thought it was late. I thought it started. So when I saw the video, I was like, is it 11 already? What is Johnny doing, live on LinkedIn? So the remind and refresh, it's about something that you've already said. Again, back to natural conversation. And you saw, by the way, just to let you know, there's this article. By the way, as a reminder, this is resourced. By the way, this is the event. So you remind and refresh people's mind because your customers will need to be reminded all the time. Have you, and I'm sure people will agree, how many times do you hear a customer say to you, oh, I didn't know you did that? You're going to go, what do you mean? We've been trading together for 4 years now. You don't know I did that. So that was an important lesson. And the third one, so we've got show and tell, remind and refresh. And the final one is alert and update. So this is more around news or kind of information that you've stumbled upon that you want to highlight. And so far, what most of us do, we maybe copy and paste a link on Twitter or on LinkedIn or Facebook, and we just push that link out maybe with an image. What I'm saying to you is, well, now that you're doing it already, can you spend just an extra 10 seconds of your time to record a message to say, hey, everyone, by the way, I came across this article about what's happening with VAT next year. I thought it could be of interest to you. So the kind of alert and update.
And you talked about the screen recording and answering a question. Is there a particular tool that you recommend for that?
Yeah, so we've got those. So I would recommend people have a go with screencastify.com, screencastify.com. And in fact, what I'm going to do, if you allow me, I'm going to put the name because it's a bit of a strange one, screencastify.com. So what it does is use a laptop, and it's going to record your computer screen and your webcam at the same time. So almost do those mini tutorials. And that's lovely because if you want to, again, do a show and tell, if you want to explain to somebody, this is how you can update your Google My Business account, or this is how you use Screencastify, then instead of writing a long email, then, you can do that. The other one that you can try is this one, loom.com. So they are both, if I'm not mistaken, Chrome extensions. Definitely Screencastify is. And they fit, very, very lovely. And the last one to give a go. And again, when we talk about building a toolkit, it's as personal as any toolkits you have for your business. So that's why I want to give people option. So there's a final one I want you to try out called Soapbox by Wistia. And it does the same thing. You record your computer screen and your webcam at the same time, put them together. And it's a lovely, lovely customer service message. And for me, the art of content marketing in 2021 is to be seen and heard being helpful. And video is a great way, to do that. It certainly is. So I would definitely do that. With some of the remind and refresh or some of the alert and update, a couple of that you can try, because sometimes all you could do is to show some moving images. So static images that have been animated to music and to text. That could be just the way you want to do it. So I'll give an example, Johnny. Perhaps a while ago, you wrote an article about the 5 ways to do something, or you wrote an article listing a number of resources. Maybe you wrote an article about an event. So you've got elements to it. So what you can do is create graphics for each element, maybe on your computer, maybe on Canva and so on. And then you can put them together as in video, animated video. And my go-to app, as you know, is called Quick by GoPro. So Quick spelt without a C, because you have to nowadays, means make things interesting. And it's a free app both for the Android phone and for the iPhone. So just let people know that I've been using Android forever. So I will try and give you some iPhone apps as well, but I don't know them as well. But Quick by GoPro uses AI. So once you've uploaded either your video footage, it could be you've been to an event. Once you've uploaded your images, you can choose a template, you can choose a music track, and does all the editing for you. Within moments, you have a really interesting video to look at. So that could be another one. If that's not for you, because again, it's about personal preference, you can also try magisto.com. It does a similar job, but again, this toolkit can be as personal as your pencil case when you were back at school. Do you remember those days, Johnny? When you had to personalize it, your pens and, the stickers on your pencil case were unique to you. So that's really at the heart of what you kept it.
Yeah. I think that was a message from a girlfriend at the time, I think.
And you've been
I've
allowed
still
to
got my
keep that?
pencil case, yeah.
Wow. You've got a very understanding wife, haven't you? Now, mine had.
She's very understanding.
Yeah, mine had probably a Star Wars and Prince stickers on it, I would imagine. So,
Rachel,
customer service. Oh, please, yes.
Rachel's got a question. I think I'm going to throw you on.
Well, that was a shock. Yeah, I just wanted to ask: do you think using our phones is good enough quality?
Oh, yeah. If your phone is barely 3-4 years old, it's give you an example. The last pro camera that I bought, I paid £4,000, I think, for it, and it's not as good as a phone from 2 years ago.
Can you do? I mean, I do phone probably on social media. Do you think you can film on your phone to put on your website?
Absolutely. You need to respect the same rules of light, so be well lit. Think about location. You know what's in front of you, what's behind you, and keep the shot static. I mean, I now send my editor stuff that I do on my phone, and you have to be really like me, a nerdy editor, to kind of spot that's from the phone and not from the pro camera. But remember, this would be watched on a small screen, and maybe not even full screen. So once it's kind of small, any kind of slight, hints that it's from the phone will be completely gone. The number one challenge for all of us is sound. And I spent my career essentially crying in my hands when I got the footage back and the sound wasn't very good. That's really the challenge, which we'll talk about perhaps later on, is sound capture more than video capture, because your phones nowadays are just amazing.
Does anyone else have any questions at this stage? Please feel free to ask questions. Just pop your hand up, or if you've got a question. Yeah, Robert, yeah, go for it.
It's not more of a question. It's just when I'm recording videos, you can buy cheap microphones these days off Amazon that you can plug into the bottom of your phone, and they'll clip on your jumper. Yep. Use the Rode app. And that really improves the quality. Well, for me, when I've used it, it improves it.
No, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Joe's got a question.
I bought a SmartLav mic, and I've plugged it into the bottom of my iPhone, but I've got an iPhone 7. I don't seem to be able to get any difference in sound quality, so I don't know if it's the connector or I've got a faulty mic.
Nothing but the phone then. So yeah, maybe following the what we had a moment ago, find if there is an app you can download that would go on your phone to actually, make sure that the mic and the phone talk to each other literally better. Because honestly, I mean, I recommend, I've got the same as you. I've got them. Here it is.
Yeah.
I've got 4 or 5 now, because you have guests and so on, and the difference is quite staggering. So yeah, I think it's to a phone that doesn't understand that you've got a mic.
Right. I was just going to say, check your operating system on your phone and check the operating system required for the mic, because sometimes with the older iPhones, the iPhone 7 unfortunately now is considered an old iPhone.
Yeah.
So
it's not updated anymore.
Yeah, that's the trouble, is that the older iPhones aren't supported with the newest iOS updates. So and it might be that the mic needs the right. I don't know enough about the details, but I've experienced it in the past.
Right.
I'm glad you said it, Lucy, because otherwise it would have been seen as a sales pitch. But Lucy, you're absolutely spot on.
So it's part of the Apple thing, isn't it? To keep everybody buying new, and it does work because we keep buying new. You can trade it in. If you've got an iPhone 7 and you want to get the upgrade, you can generally get a reasonable trade in for the next one.
I've got a question from Darren.
Hi, Pascal. Hi. I do videos, like walkthrough videos for estate agents and other businesses at the minute. So my question is, when I attach music to it, obviously it's copyright, so I have to make sure what I'm getting I'm covered. So I just wanted to ask you about these apps, because that's what you're talking about in those types of videos. I want to attempt to start doing at some point. But does that copyright thing, because I can't remember which app you said it was, but you can put your music on it and stuff.
Yeah. So Quick comes with a library of copyright-free and cleared music tracks. Some of them have got lyrics, as in singing. Some of them are just track. But you're right, to your point, since we're talking about it, I know that, for example, YouTube now has launched an extensive music library that you can use freely, or again, the clearance has been there. And there is a company, which I'm going to type in because I'm going to try, I can't remember the name exactly, so I'm going to try a couple of options for you to Google. CC
Mixer. I think Jamie's saying CC Mixer. Mixter. Yeah.
Thank you, Jamie.
Put that in afterwards.
Yeah, and if you use there's a one called, I think, Dig Mixter, which is even better, where there's a more searchable. So you've got that. Of course, to answer your question, we are using what is freely available. But, sometimes for a few pounds, you can get, things. So I've got a pal of mine who swears by something called Epidemic Sounds, where, you can, I think he pays £10 a month or something like this, and he has access to a very, very, very vast library. So I think between those options, you'll be more than covered.
So I'd like to move on to sales videos, but just really quickly, a couple of quick questions. So Nikki, you've got a quick question about animation. Do you want to just say?
Yeah, so it was, do you have like any recommended animation software that you can, that you can use online that doesn't kind of cost heaven and earth to use? It's quite simple.
Yeah, Nikki, and when you say animation, you mean graphics as opposed to video footage. So my go-to really is a Biteable. So I'll write it again in the box. So Biteable is a wonderful system where they've already have the animation created for you, and all you have to do is change the text and tell a different story with what they've got. So they've got 2D and 3D graphics. So Biteable is quite a good one. Another one you could use where you have maybe still photography that is perhaps of, let's say, not great quality. Maybe they're from a while back or whichever. This is how I kind of started all those years ago when I was trying to simplify the process of, story creation. Because, of course, none of you, with maybe a handful of exceptions, should have the aspiration to match the work of professionals, or unless your career is to become a video producer, then we can have a different conversation. So this is about, what can make life easier once you've come up with the idea. So a platform called Animoto.com is interesting. I think it's also very, very kind of simple interface, so that works well for you.
This is Pascal, by the way. He just is a wealth of knowledge on apps, and this is just the video ones. He knows them all.
In the same way you have understanding Wi-Fi by having your girlfriend's message on your pencil case, I can spend hours online testing platforms, and she's happy to be downstairs watching TV.
If you can cook, Pascal, you'd be perfect. Can you cook?
Yeah.
Oh, he's perfect.
I'm the eldest of a family of 4, so I had to learn to cook for my brothers and sisters.
It's also at this point he wishes he was on commission for all these apps. Jamie's got a very quick question.
So it was just a quick point about music. Especially with CC Mixter, there's lots of different licenses that you might have to be aware of. There's Creative Commons, which means some of those means you can use it to generate income, some of them you can't, and some of them require you to actually attribute it. So you have to say, hey, this music is from this person, this is the website I got it from. One way that I've done it for my podcasts is I've commissioned the music, and if you commission the music, you get the license, it is yours. And so that could be a way of doing it. Another way that I've done it is because I'm very into video game development. I've bought some licenses to use video game music. So you can go into stores like Unity, which is a video game system for making video games. You can buy the music from there, and it becomes yours to license and use in whatever way you want. And it sounds really silly, but sometimes the video game music is very well produced, like with amazing orchestration, and they have like some of them are perfectly loopable as well. As soon as it ends, you can just start it again and it loops perfectly. So I just wanted to raise those points.
Smashing. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. So Pascal, talk just if we can just keep it brief. On the sales side,
okay,
you've talked about the customer service side. What would be the typical videos on the sales side?
So you've done your bit, to keep your existing customers engaged. You've marketed yourself by sharing, short video content. You could argue that what you've done is made those customer service videos public. And then somebody now is interested, and the likelihood is they've reached either your social media platform, your website, or your YouTube channel. I think there are 3 videos worth your while. There's more options, but I think for me, after years and years of reflection, they're the one that work well. So think of them as series, so there'd be more than one video, but series number 1, question of the week. So in the spirit of to be seen and heard being helpful, You now want to have pre-recorded content that I can watch on your website, ideally, probably embedded from YouTube and shared on social media, where you are seen to be answering a question of the week from one of your contacts. So make sure that, by the way, you are answering real questions from real people. I don't want any of that kind of, marketing nonsense of making up questions just for the hell of it because you went on a course that told you to be answering questions. So, I would say, right, but today the question's from Johnny Ross, who's asking me which microphone to use when organizing a live show and that kind of thing. So real question from real people is because you want to bring the human element to that. The next thing, case studies. Of course, you need to have case studies, and there's two ways which you can do them. You can do them with your customer talking to camera and sharing, obviously, their views, or you can make it more as an animated storyboard. So have some still photography and share the story in that way. Because I think you need to give your customers the option. Not everybody would be either available time-wise, but also would be wanting to speak to camera. Because I've said to you, you don't have to be in front of the camera, so don't expect the others to do the same. And then the final one, in terms of sales and conversion, Johnny, webinars. So, you've got to be seen, obviously, to be helpful and doing it in the context of a group. So that would be obviously a private session. People have registered to go on the webinar, and they're going to hear more from you. They're going to get to know you, trust you, and you're going to convert, down the line. So these are the three things: question of the week, case study, and webinars. There's more options, but I think if you start with those three, you'll be doing a lot of good to your business. And we can talk about the apps in a moment.
Is there, well, just on a point of that then, so which apps would you be talking about there then?
So with the question of the week, I would suggest, as people ask, you just use your phone and just record, your phone. I mean, if you have a laptop that performs well, you can record, obviously, from the laptop. But then you want to edit, I suspect you'll want to maybe add an introduction with, text and logo and music, and have obviously a closing sequence. So I think in terms of editing, I've learned from my customers to keep things super simple. I wouldn't go for the pro packages to begin with. So there's a program called We Video, we as in us, We Video. I'll put it in there for you.com. It's a fun one to use, and it's got everything you ever need to essentially edit a simple question of the week. You can also try something called Filmora. I think it's a company called Wondershare, which I think, again, for people who just want to be quick. I know that you like to do things as well swiftly, Johnny. You don't want to become a video producer. So that'd be the kind of things you do. If for reasons that actually make sense to you, you would rather work on the mobile phone. So let's say you record a question of the week on the mobile phone, you want to edit on the mobile phone. A few options. So the one that one of my pals swears by is called Inshot. I prefer Vlogit, again, by company Filmora. Just gives me more option. There's plenty more. I mean, it's an open market, you can understand, Johnny. But after testing and getting feedback, I would say this is a good starting point. And then if you don't like them, because again, it needs to be personal, I would go on Google and put the phrase alternative to Inshot, alternative to Filmora, and find the others.
And if you're all wanting to keep a copy of all these apps, at the end of this, before we close it, if you click the three dots in the chat, you can export the chat so that you've got a copy of everything that's been written. Do we have any questions at all? Okay. Pascal, do you think you could give me the three videos for marketing conversion, but maybe keep it to just a minute, because I'd like to do a bit more networking as well. So just just finally,
that easy homework for you. Go back to your social media accounts and look at the last month. Look at the month of February. Every time you posted a photo, in future this needs to be a video. It's that simple, because you're just going to convert it. Next, you need to become a guest on podcast and video podcast. So if you'd like to try out in a safe environment in my presence, or indeed Jamie, I can see nodding away, then please get in touch. I'd love you to have be a guest on my video series, and you can understand what it's like. But this is, about visibility. And thirdly, learn to create very simple video adverts for social media. And a platform worth your while is promo.com. and headliner.com to learn how to do mini adverts. So I'll put them in the chat box for you. And I think stuck to the 60-second deadline.
Brilliant, thank you.
Like
well,
being
you've
on
got
set, isn't it?
It is. You've got you've got 3 podcasters here: myself, Pascal, and Jamie. So there's something to go at. And I've even seen David doing some video. I've seen a number of you. Sorry to single people out. Joe was pointing out. I think Rachel might have done some stuff as well. But you know, so there's use the group. Any final questions before we move away from Pascal? Pascal, one question. Oh, Tim's got a question. Let's go to Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't mean to click that.
Just quickly about captions and stuff. And SEO.
Thank you. So so a couple of things. There's a platform that was launched last year actually called getsubly.com, which is the one that I use to caption and subtitle my videos, but also in my case, you understand, I sometimes translate things. So if I do a video in French, I have the English translation and vice versa. So GetSubly is an interesting one. A lot of apps now are coming on the market, which gives you the transcription already. So iPhone users, you're very lucky. We don't have that for the Android phone. There's an app called Clips, which will record you talking to camera and caption automatically. There is something called Big View. Again, spelled bizarrely because if it's an app, you have to misspell things. So big and then VU. And there's another one which I've forgotten now. I should write a list, instead of trying to memorize all of this. But between those 3 things, you should find, what are you looking for. There's another one that I can see sometime advertised on LinkedIn. Apologies, it's not coming to me.
Cool, thank you. So Pascal, if people are wanting to reach out to you or ask further questions, what's the best way to find you?
So generally, my offer for any of you to be a guest on my video series is a genuine one. I'd love to talk to you about your business, how you're using the internet, and make your story a source of inspiration for others. And the best way to get in touch is to put Pascal Fintoni on LinkedIn, because with a name like mine, I'm easily found. I'm lucky not to be called John Smith. And, just drop me a message. That'd be lovely. And thanks very much for having me today, Johnny.
It's an absolute pleasure. I can see some clapping around. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you'd like more of that, then please do join us at the Yorkshire Business Club on Facebook, where you can connect, learn, collaborate, be inspired and showcase your business. We have an Elevenses every Friday at 11 a.m. Till 12 p.m. It's on Zoom. You get to network and do all those things, a different speaker each week. And you had the pleasure of hearing from Pascal today. So hopefully we'll see you soon. And the link will be below the video. Take care.